Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's Mystic Minute is anchoring where you are. I haven't made a Mystic Minute in a month. I haven't written a newsletter in 5 months. As far as the Mystic Minute goes, I've been back in Tacoma helping my husband and I move to a new place. We moved back to Vashon Island, which has been a vision of mine for a while now. And as far as the Easing blog newsletter, I don't know, there's just been something else. I started that newsletter in 2003, I think. So there's just been a we're in New York, a very interesting experience going on where there's a redirection happening. And my focus has been very pulled into the details of the moment. And it doesn't mean that there isn't anything spiritual going on. It just sometimes feels that way, but it more means that there is a reorganization going on within. And what that is going to look like on the outside remains to be seen. The other thing that has happened, not exactly happened, the other thing that I've been experiencing, and this was especially so when I was back in Tacoma, was just a real lack of grounding, a sense of being in an earthly reality. And my husband has noticed this with his own words, like we're in a parallel universe, and he started to work in Seattle again after being away from it for quite a few years. And it's like Seattle, but not Seattle. And Seattle has changed a lot as well, but it's this kind of alternate reality Seattle. And we're back on Vashon Island, which has been my home since 1985. We've been away since 2013. And it's Vashon, but it's not Vashon. So it's kind of like an alternative reality Vashon. And there was definitely something else going on, and it could have been telepathic or whatever, but it was such a high vibration and very uncomfortable. And so I pulled out all my old techniques that I have been trained in and practiced and taught and all this sort of thing. So I pulled all that out to practice, really tried to ground and all, and I was just experiencing more of a 5D experience where there is no center of the earth, and we're in a hologram, we're in a holodeck, and not very reassuring to my physical body. So I'm back in New York now, and New York is just more of a dense place. It's population dense. I mean, they're just the amount of humanity here. The history, so the layers and layers of history here, all of those things converge to give it more of a sense of being in a physical reality. And even as I'm telling you that, I also know it's a story. So today I was realizing that this also just simply validates that my old techniques aren't working, like I've been saying over and over again, and to use my new ones. And one of my new ones is to anchor in the body. So rather than sending a grounding cord to the center of the earth, which really feels uncomfortable because gravity has changed and there's no friggin' center of the earth and all these kind of things, it's like, okay, just anchors consciousness within my physical form. And that feels different. It doesn't have the clunky density that I was used to. But then again, when I first learned these techniques, there wasn't even any internet. And then if any of you can think that far back, our first internet was on dial-up, and dial-up was very slow and clunky. It was connected to the wall. And what I'm experiencing now is a wireless connection. And when I let go of the expectation that it has to feel dense and slow and clunky, I have more of a sense of being in comfort in a new place and time. That is very cool. This is very cool. So I love when I'm running around New York and I suddenly find these little pockets of greenery. So the other thing to add to this is that if you don't have like a physical density stuff going on in your life, you might have storyline density going on. So the story of your life is bringing up evidence of all sorts of density. And okay, so for instance, it's like historical stuff, family pattern stuff, the story of my family, the story of my, this, that, and the other. That's all part of density. And when I am centered within myself, so anchored in not a dense anchor way, but more like wirelessly connected into my form in this reality, that story goes away. The charge about the story, the emotionalism about that story goes away as well. And I get to be just here in the present moment, experiencing the creation as it is. That feels a lot better. So one other thing, if you happen to be in the Seattle area on September 28th, I'm going to be at the Emerald Spiral Expo doing readings. I never do them anymore, it seems. I will have a booth there. You can come talk to me. I'm letting go of my meetup groups here in New York. I just, they work when you have a regular meetings. It works when you have consistency. I don't have consistency right now. That's all part of the strange navigation that's going on, being comfortable with what is. Anyway, if you want to know more about all of this stuff, then my website is joan-newcomb.com. I have podcasts from my old weekly radio show there. I have this YouTube channel with, I don't know how many years I've been doing this now, but these Mystic Musings, there's links to my blog with, 13, 19, 15 years, how many years of blog posts and reflections there as well. And if you want to know specifically more about how to navigate your life as consciousness, you can go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and look at my coaching programs. So go to joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you next time with another Mystic Minute.